Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here in Central Europe. Hi Tamonish, hi Tonwisi, hi Boba Murad, Science VPN, Shaik, nice to see many regular students. Hi Jainil, welcome members. I see that we have a new member joining us at the beginning of this class, so that's fantastic. Make sure to send me an email. I will give you my email address in just a moment. Students, in this class, we are focusing on speaking part one, some original questions that you could see in your upcoming exam. And of course, these materials, they're brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there and join the hundreds and thousands of students who improve their English and communication for success on IELTS every month. As well, for general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. And we are maybe the only company in the world online that separates these two versions of the IELTS academic and general into two clearly different websites, products, including apps, to make sure that people don't get confused about what is what. So it's another benefit there. And of course, you can get our apps, Academic IELTS Help, link them to our websites, aehelp.com for academic, and General IELTS Help app for gieltshelp.com. Hi, Bekjan. Hi, Ashraf. Nice to see more of our members. And hi, Violet Nguyen and Peya Basak. Nick Heyman. Good to see our regular students. New members as well for students who have questions. Send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. We are official British Council registration center. We have a direct connection to IELTS, to British Council, so we can really dig deep and find answers to just about any question around the IELTS exam in a timely manner. These live classes, we host them Wednesday to Saturday usually, 13:30 to 14:30 for members and 15 to 16 o'clock for all chat class. And this week we're kicking today off with speaking part one, and then tomorrow we'll start some task two for members. Of course, everybody can watch, and then reading for everybody, and then more classes throughout the week. So make sure that you're here for that. Okay, let's just warm up with the introductory questions. For speaking part one, you get to your IELTS speaking interview. It takes about 15 minutes. It's the same for the computer-based exam. It's the same for the academic. It's the same for the general. For this paper-based exam, it's a face-to-face interview with usually a native English speaker or a Band 9 expert user of the English language who is trained by IELTS to do the interview. Okay. Tell Monish to become a member of our channel. You click the join button beside the subscribe button. If you don't see that, send me an email. Okay. All right. So let's start off with these examiner questions, and then I'll show you where you can practice your speaking for free. You go to your interview. You are met by either a woman or a man, and they will say, "Welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. I will record it for marking purposes." They'll have a recorder going. And then they'll say, "What is your full name?" So they'll always start off with this question: what is your full name? They want you to introduce yourself, and they want to introduce themselves prior. So be ready for this question. Practice different ways of answering. You definitely want to sound really natural and fluent for these first few questions. You want to set the mood, set the tone for a high band score. So Kulbir Singh says, "My full name is Kulbir Singh. It is given by my parents, and you can call me by my nickname Beer." Okay, Kulbir, it is given by my parents. That's usually the case, so it's kind of awkward. Avoid stating the obvious, students, in the speaking section. That's weird. Okay, you want to be fluent, but don't state the obvious. So, Kulbir, it's nice that you said that, because that brings me to this kind of important tip, and I've seen students do this often. So you want to be fluent, okay? You want to show fluency with every answer, but do not state the obvious. It is unnatural and awkward, and you will lose marks if you keep doing that, okay? Like, for example, my name is given to me by my parents. That's just awkward, right? It usually is. It would be actually interesting to state that if somebody else gave you your name, like your uncle or your grandparents, okay? I got my name after my great-grandfather, who was a famous general in so-and-so army or something. That would be unusual, so that would be worth stating, but don't state the obvious that your parents gave you your name, okay? All right. Ashraf says, my given name is Ashraf and my family name is Hussein. Please just call me Ash for short. Ashraf, very nice. Ash is a great abbreviation of a name. I really like that, Ash. Okay, cool. So that's a good answer, Ashraf. Jaineel says, my given name is Ethan and my surname is Hunt. Please call me by my first name, Ethan. Ethan Hunt, hey, like the actor? Okay, Jaineel, that'll work. Just make sure your passport says the same. All right, Mohammed Izzat says, my name is Mohammed and my surname is Omran. Please call me Momo, which is my nickname. Very good, Mohammed. Yeah, okay, that works. All right, that works well. All right, let's see, one more. Let's take one more here. Botir Rakhmatov says, my full name is Botir Rakhmatov, which was given by my father, and you can call me by my first name. Don't say which was given by my father. Your names are given to you by your parents in most cases. It's awkward to say that, okay? All right, so what is your full name? My first name is Michael, and my family name is Jordan. Please just call me Mike for short. All right, Michael Jordan. Why not, right? If somebody says Ethan Hunt, I'll do Michael Jordan today. It goes with the famous saying, be like Mike. Be like Mike. If you were as old as me, you'll know what that means. Okay, so my first name is Michael and my family name is Jordan. Please just call me Mike for short. Okay, Mike, the speaking has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each part. First, may I see your identification? That question is definitely coming. They want to see the identification that you used to register. Okay, so give me a nice full sentence answer for that question. Okay, Samit Dal says, sure. It's short and sweet, but maybe a little bit too short, Summit. Again, show fluency every chance you get, all right? So saying sure, it works, it's natural English, but it doesn't allow the examiner to evaluate your English level, okay? So you can answer sure or yes, but this does not allow the examiner to accurately evaluate your level. If you do this often in the interview, you will score lower than if you show fluency. With robust answers. Okay, robust answers means nice and detailed, complete answers. All right, that's what you want to do, all right? So more detail, don't just say sure or yes. If you do it once, like if you do it for this question, but then afterwards you make sure that you're really showing your fluency, then that's fine. You can still get a band 9. but I would highly recommend setting up a positive context for your ability by showing fluency with these first few questions. So Bilal Rafiq says, yes, certainly, here's my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look. Yeah, that shows fluency. And that also helps you to kind of settle down and gain confidence, okay? Maximka says, yes, sure, here's my passport for my identification. Please have a look. Yeah, that works as well. Okay, those are good. All right, Andrew Petrovsky says, yes, certainly, this is my passport that I used to register for the exam. Yeah, I see a lot of students doing this, yes, please. Don't use that. It's not natural English. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but do not say, yes, please. That's awkward, okay? This is awkward. In English, when you finish a statement with please, it sounds like you are making a request, okay? So be really cautious, be really careful with how you use the word please, okay? It seems like a simple word, and it is, but we use this word quite dynamically in natural English, okay? I'll give you an example of this, okay, so you can understand this a little bit more clearly. Would you like some water? The answer, yes, please. Okay. Can I see your passport? Certainly. Please take a look. Okay. So here, I'm requesting water. Here, I'm offering my passport. Okay. If you say yes, please, and then you stop there for this one, it's awkward. It's kind of like, oh, are you asking me for my passport? Sorry, what are we doing? Who's asking for what? So it gets confusing, okay? So make sure to keep these clearly in mind. When somebody asks you if you would like something and you say, yes, please, you are responding with the same request, right? It's like saying, yes, please, can I have a glass of water? That's the invisible part of this question, or the inferred part of this question, which is, yes, yes, please, may I have some water? Okay, is that clear, students? So is that clear how please is used in the English language naturally? So when you finish with please, you're requesting. When you use the word please to be polite, you have to finish with a statement of a verb. Okay? That has to be really clear, because if you make this mistake in the beginning and I'm your examiner, right away you've just told me that you're not a band 9. You don't have enough familiarity with the English language to know this important difference, okay? And a band 9 level, even a band 8 level, would definitely know this difference in using the word please naturally, okay? So make sure you don't make that mistake, because those kinds of mistakes can immediately convince the examiner of kind of your level of where you are, okay? All right. So, the correct response here would be yes. Please take a look at my passport that I used to register for this exam. Okay, that would be natural. All right. Okay, so that important note aside, the examiner will continue with saying, okay, they'll look at the passport, look at you. Don't get weirded out, so don't feel like, ooh, what's so weird about this examiner when they're staring. As somebody wrote me an email once and said, the examiner gave me really strange looks. when they were looking at my passport. If your passport picture looks a little bit different than the way you look now, you might really get a stare from the examiner. Like they might be like, is that really, is that really? The reason is because in the past, people have actually hired doppelgangers, it means lookalikes, to sit the IELTS exam instead of them. So fake people, right? So the examiner has to be sure that you are you. And so they kind of stare at your picture and stare at you. And if your picture looks different in the passport, you might get a really good kind of like stare. Don't get weirded out by that. Okay, don't get freaked out by that. They're just making sure you're you. Okay. And then they'll give you your passport back. They'll say, okay, thanks. There's your passport back. If they don't give you your passport back, make sure you don't forget to ask for it at the end. Just say, can I have my passport back? That's yours. Okay. All right. So then the examiner will say, all right, for part one, I will ask you some more questions to get to know you and some questions on a general topic. Okay. Do you work or study? So do you work or study? That'll be the next question. All right. Real Diamond says, I'm studying at Westminster University in the US, but after classes I work as a waiter in a restaurant to pay for my tuition. Okay, Real Diamond, the money that you pay for studying is called a tuition fee. Okay. Tuition. Okay, so you pay for your tuition. Also, Real Diamond, it's not but after class, it's and after class. It's not a contrast. It's more natural to have that as an addition. So I'm studying at Westminster University in the US, and after classes I work as a waiter to pay for my tuition. Don't say at a restaurant, because waiters work at a restaurant, Real Diamond. That's what I mean about stating the obvious. Okay. You should only say it if it's something unusual, like I work as a waiter at a bowling alley. Then it would be like, oh, you work as a waiter at a bowling alley. That's interesting. But if you work as a waiter in a restaurant, that's understood. Most waiters work at a restaurant. Okay, so don't state the obvious. Give details, be fluent, don't be awkward. Okay. All right. Lydia says, currently, I'm a student in 12th grade at a future international school. As well, I have volunteered in the UAE diplomacy program as a part-time job. Very nice answer, Lydia. Irene Domingo says, yes, I both work and study. I have work as a nursing assistant here in Singapore, and I'm studying IELTS to prepare for my application to work in Canada. Very nice, Irene. Irene, you don't need a period after Singapore. And is used to join sentences, especially in writing. So students don't put periods before the word and. Okay, you're joining sentences with the word and. Only in narrative storytelling do we use and to start a sentence usually, and that's different. Don't worry about that. Okay. All right. Alex Lim says, currently I do both work as an engineer at a construction firm in my town, and I'm studying at the International English Language Testing System to work abroad, apparently. Yeah, they do require people, especially in professional jobs like engineering, to prove their English abilities. Yeah, that's very important. And there's Natalie, our member. Hi, Natalie. Natalie says, I both work as an evidence technician for the local police department and study at university to get a master's degree in genetics. Very interesting, Natalie. Evidence technician. Ooh, it sounds like CSI. Which is a famous television show. Natalie, that's super cool. What an interesting job. Okay, so yes, I both work as an electrical engineer, and I'm studying for the IELTS exam as I want to go abroad for post-secondary education. And it's not only important for my application, but also for my success in school. All right. So there's my answer. Repeat after me. Do you work or study? Yes, I both work as an electrical engineer and I'm studying for the IELTS exam as I want to go abroad for post-secondary education, and it's not only important for my application, but also for my success in school, which is very true, students, for those of you who are planning to work and study abroad, and of course live abroad as well for immigration for general IELTS students. Having a band 7 on the IELTS exam, it's not just to get these papers, to get these documents, but it's also for your actual success and comfort in life. It's difficult to be comfortable in an English-speaking culture when you don't master the language. There's just so many more doors and opportunities that open up to you when you are confident with the English language. All right, so now the examiner says, what is your favorite food? Just kind of picked that out of my hat. Okay, what is your favorite food? It's kind of an icebreaker question, again, to make you feel comfortable. So think about it that way. Answer, explain, and example. Favorite, whenever you're asked about favorite, you should usually just pick one answer. Okay. Roshni says, well, I'm really into Indian cuisines, such as vegetarian biryani or mutter paneer, because in those dishes they use different spices that make it delicious and as well as healthy. I had a really good veggie biryani just yesterday that was prepared by my mom. Okay, Roshni, finish that with a smooth flowing example, and you can just bump your fluency score and your grade that much more, okay? Ashraf says, I have a number of favorite food items, but the one I love most is Hibardabdi biryani, which is the most popular dish in my country of India. Ashraf, I'm guessing, right? So finish that sentence. Otherwise, good. Nice to see more of our members coming into the class now as well. I know a lot of students are writing exams these days, which is interesting because August is usually the slowest month for IELTS, but I guess because of COVID this year, it's the most popular month for IELTS. It's an unexpected turn of events for us IELTS experts. For Dovs, Nabiev, our member, says, my number one meal is barbecue. Not only do I love eating meat, but also I love its smell, its texture. I ate a steak yesterday at a nearby restaurant. It was a barbecue ribeye, absolutely succulent and delicious. For Dovs, if you're into meats, you got to learn the language of steaks. Okay, but good. It's a good start for Dovs, sure. Shaikh Faisal says, it's an interesting question. One of my favorite foods is biryani, which is made of different ingredients, especially people make it in different styles like chicken, fish, beef, vegetarian, and they're very tasty. Shaikh, I don't know if that's an interesting question. It's just a question. What is your favorite food? Students, don't use words like it's an interesting question when it's just a general kind of question that we commonly hear. Okay? So Bekjan, for that previous question, yeah, you can say that, but it's more difficult. Okay, so you should just pick one and say you either work or you study. If you say neither because I'm between work and study, it becomes a more complex answer. So choose the easy path to a band 9. Okay. All right. Maximka Yarosh says, my favorite food is Ukrainian cuisine because it's so tasty and healthy. Just yesterday, I made a Ukrainian soup, borscht. Yeah, borscht. All right. Good. I also love pierogies, Maximka, one of the most famous Ukrainian foods around the world, the pierogi. All right. So, in my mind, nothing beats a world-class spaghetti when it is made just right with a bit of ground beef and some Parmesan cheese. The flavor is so rich and tasty. I just love it. I'm fortunate enough to have had some of the best spaghetti in Italy last year. All right, so what is your favorite food? Repeat after me, students. Of course, this is a speaking class, so it's great that you're writing. It's great that you're paying attention, you're listening. But of course, very importantly, because it's a speaking class, make sure to speak and repeat what I say as well. So I'm speaking with a West Coast Canadian accent. It's quite clear. Make sure to speak and repeat. All right, so what is your favorite food? In my mind, nothing beats a world-class spaghetti. When it's made just right with a bit of ground beef and some Parmesan cheese, the flavor is so rich and tasty, I just love it. I'm fortunate enough to have had some of the best spaghetti in Italy last year. All right, with example. So in my mind, not in mind, my. There we go. Okay, so now you're on a roll, you're feeling confident, and the examiner will introduce the topic of part 1. Okay, and before we get to part 1, I just want to show you our websites real quick where you can practice your speaking for free, 100% free speaking practice. So this is our academic IELTS website here. You see that I'm the face of this website. You can click that big red button to join the premium package. When you join, let me just darken this up a bit here so you can see what I'm doing. It's a brighter background for the projector, obviously. So when you join, you get this My Student account here where you can log in. And as soon as you're logged in, you get a tour of all of the practice exams and interactive courses and the videos. And then you see this student partner speaking button. And you click that student partner speaking button. You get a little window that says, hey, you can speak for free to other students. Just be nice. You are responsible for your information. So you accept that clause, and then when you get into the portal, it'll open up another page for you. And in that page, you will find students who are looking and waiting for people to speak with. So here you see Idrish, you see Panti, Sharn, Roziboyev, Sami, Ihab, Mohammed, there's me. And you can either audio, video, and text. So the best way is just send a text message to somebody here and say, hey, do you want to practice some IELTS speaking? And then they'll say, sure. And then you can say, would you like to do video or audio? Different people have different internet connections. And then you can go, okay, let's do this. Let's open up some questions. So here you have some IELTS speaking questions. You can click on people. They're organized according to part 2 topics. So I clicked on people. So this one is talk about a person who is good with money for part 2. and then part 3 questions are related to it. So you can do that. And then the general IELTS website, it's green background. Click that big red button. My student account, same thing. You can talk to students for free when you use that my student account, and then click on the student partner speaking. Okay, cool. So thanks for letting me share that with you. Hopefully you use that. Try to use it every day for 20-30 minutes, and I guarantee that your speaking will improve. And there's always at least a half dozen or so people in there waiting for somebody to talk to. Okay, so Ashraf says, I'm unable to connect audio. Check your audio settings in your browser, Ashraf. So it's important that you make sure you enable your audio and microphone. Okay. All right. If you're trying to connect with somebody and it's ringing and they're not picking up, it might be because they're in chat with somebody else. Okay. All right. So if they're connected, just be patient. Okay, cool. So let's get back to this. So now, here we go. The examiner says, okay, now for part 1, let's talk about children. Any topic can come up. Okay, let's talk about children. Sure, why not? We can talk about teenagers, we can talk about adults, but in this case, we're going to talk about children. Okay, so the examiner says, how often do you meet children? Okay, now that could be an interesting question. So how often do you meet children? Amandeep, I hope you do well on your exam. Okay, Nagame says, well, I frequently see children as I have 2 younger brothers. One's 4 and one's 10 years old. They are my inspiration to come home every day after school to play badminton with them. Yesterday I had, and then you keep going, Nagame, but Nagame, your answer's good. Don't keep talking too much, Nagame, okay? Even if you just say, after school I played badminton with them, and stop there, yeah. If you have little brothers, little sisters, they're children, and you see them every day, okay? Mohammed Azad says, mostly I meet some children in our beautiful garden called Al-Riyam. We usually play football with them and enjoy the swing and skiing in it. Okay, Mohammed, don't forget to answer the question, how often? So does that mean all the time, every day? I meet children at least 2 to 3 times each day as they come to our garden. So answer the question. Okay, sometimes people get really excited about the topic, children, and then they forget the controlling idea. How often do you meet them? Okay, don't get so excited about the topic that you forget the controlling idea of the question. That's dangerous. You'll lose marks. Okay. So Flower Sun says, because my house is a grocery store, I meet children every single day, even on holidays. They usually come to the store with their parents to buy some candies. How nice, Flower Sun. So you're answering the question. You meet them every day, even on holidays. Okay. So your house is probably like, I'm guessing, Flower Sun, that you have your house in the back of the store or above the store, right? So you can say, because my house is connected with our store, our small grocery store, I see children every single day in the store, even on holidays. So I often meet with kids. Okay? Remember, paraphrase the question, right? Bobo Murad says, I frequently meet children in my home because I have a little sister and brother. I usually play football with them. Very good. Okay, so that's a good start, Bobo Murad. I frequently, and then you want to quantify, right? So I frequently meet children as I have a 4-year-old daughter who I take to the playground just about every day. Therefore, I would say that I get a chance to talk to a kitty at least 5 to 6 times each week. All right. So notice what I'm doing. I answer the question with frequently. Okay. So frequently, and then I quantify it. So I meet with a kitty. Kitty is kind of a slang for kid, believe it or not. 5 to 6 times each week. Okay. So repeat after me. How often do you meet children? I frequently meet children, as I have a 4-year-old daughter who I take to the playground just about every day. Therefore, I would say that I get a chance to talk to a kitty at least 5 to 6 times each week. Okay, and notice the use of adjective clause 2, person adjective clause here, who I take to. Okay. Noun clause, correction. All right, here we go. Next question. Do you like to play with children? Do you like to play with children? Why or why not? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Do you like to play with children? Why or why not? Lydia says, definitely I enjoy playing with children twice a week since I love seeing their perspective or the world from their eyes. It makes me happier and more positive in my day-to-day. Lydia, good. Lydia, remember, always avoid the word things, right? Always avoid that word things. Try to come up with a better word. Like, I love seeing the world from their eyes. Not things, but the world from their eyes, okay? All right. Sammy says, yes, I do love playing with children because whenever I play with them, I feel relaxed and remember my childhood days. I usually play with my neighbor's son, Raj. He's so cute. Yeah, there's an interesting way to express that in English when we see the world through a child's eyes or somebody else's life. We say we vicariously experience the world through their eyes. So yes, I truly love to play with kids as it allows me to vicariously relive my happy childhood memories through the eyes of my daughter and her friends. In fact, I just took her and 2 of her friends to the water park near our home, and we had great fun. Okay, so repeat after me. Do you like to play with children? Yes, I truly love to play with kids as it allows me to vicariously relive my happy childhood memories through the eyes of my daughter and her friends. In fact, I just took her and 2 of her friends to the water park near our home, and we had great fun. Okay, good. Maximka Yarash says, I enjoy it when I'm playing with my kids. I feel so happy when I see them smile. Unfortunately, this is only once or twice a month. Ooh, that's so sad, Maxima. Try to change that. I know it's not always easy, but work on it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Dollar says, nope, I can't stand the discussion of little kids and masculinity they have. I can't get along with kids just because mostly they cry and they beat on you. So I hate playing with children. All right, Dollar. Hey, you don't have to say yes. You can say no. And that's okay. Just make sure that you explain it clearly as you have. and give some examples. So obviously you have some bad experience with kids. All right. KK says, yes, I prefer to spend all of my free time with my nephew, who's only 3 years old. He's a very funny boy, and in my mind, he rejuvenates me with after playing with him some games and being with him together. KK, not bad. I had to make a lot of corrections there to the grammar and reshape your response, so be careful, okay, with word choice and grammar. All right, Rajveer Singh says, yes, definitely. I adore playing with children, as it not only helps me to decompress, but also to vicariously relive my childhood memories. Yeah, very good, Rajveer. Nice. I like how you took what I showed you here and then put it into use. That's always a good idea. So don't be shy to copy the vocabulary or the ideas that I'm giving you, okay, so that you can add that to your toolbox of English, okay? Janelle says, yes, of course, I always love to play with children because kids help me relax and be happy. As I've just told you, me and my brother's kid play every other day. Yeah, very good. Rajveer, I see your example there as well. Good, smooth flowing example. Nicely done. All right, fantastic. Nelson Collins says, yes, I love playing with children. It reminds me of my childhood when I had nothing to worry about other than having fun with friends. When I didn't have a care in the world. That's another way we express that, Nelson. When I didn't have a care in the world. Okay, next question. Where do you think is a fun place to go with a child? And of course, brackets, why? Because if you don't answer, if you don't give the reason, they will ask you why. So where do you think is a fun place to go with a child? Give me a nice full sentence answer for that question. Vicariously, Tarun means indirectly. So it means passively through the eyes of another. Okay? All right. So give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Where do you think is a fun place to go with a child? And Shaikh says, well, I think a park is the only place which is for fun for children, because there are different activities to enjoy, like slides, swings, and the sandbox. Before COVID, me and my uncle's kids used to go there every day. Shaikh, careful with the word things. Don't even use the word etc, especially not in speaking, okay? Botir says, I think the beach is the most enjoyable place to spend time with kids. They can play with a ball, go swimming. These activities make children relaxed and they really have a lot of fun. Okay. Not the best place, but fun place. Okay. So again, careful with the controlling idea. It doesn't say the best place. It says a fun place. So you can give a couple of answers like the beach, the park, the playground. Okay. Those are all fun places for children to go and enjoy life. Okay. Be social. Pachu Yadav says, I think theme park like Disneyland is a fun place to go with children because there are so many activities there and they can get a chance to swim and enjoy roller coasters and watch different kinds of shows with animals. Loads of fun and entertainment for the whole family. Yeah, Pachu, Disneyland, definitely a fun place for children. I'm sure if you asked a lot of kids around you, they would say, yeah, Disneyland is on the top of my list. So, well, aside from the playground and the water park, which I had just mentioned previously, both the zoo and a theme park such as Disneyland are great places to have fun with children, as there are lots of exciting activities to enjoy, such as roller coasters, and kids can meet some of their favorite story characters like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. All right, I'm definitely planning to take my daughter there in the next few years. Sure, let's finish with a smooth flowing example. So here we go. Where do you think is a fun place to go with a child? Well, aside from the playground and water park, which I had just mentioned previously, both the zoo and a theme park such as Disneyland are great places to have fun with children, as there are lots of exciting activities to enjoy, such as roller coasters, and kids can meet some of their favorite story characters like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. I'm definitely planning to take my daughter there in the next few years. Answer, explain, example, visualize, right? Where would you love to go if you're a child? Okay. So, students, here are a few more questions that I challenge you to do for homework. When should children go to sleep? How has childhood changed compared to a generation ago? And if you could be a child again, would you take the chance? Why or why not? Those are some interesting questions. Try those for homework. Send me your recording in an MP3 format. My email is adrian@aehelp.com, and I would definitely give you an estimate of your speaking band level based on those 3 questions answers. Okay, again, just make sure it's an MP3 format. So convert it if it's not MP3. And if you want some HD videos and all of our practice exams and lots of other tools to help you prepare, visit us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Tomorrow we will have some task 2 for members and some reading for everyone. So make sure to stay tuned for that. You're very, very welcome, Nigaiman. Welcome, Pachu. And hopefully everybody will have a great rest of your day. Much love to all of you. I'm Adrian signing out from Budapest. Bye for now.